What's happening, guys? Supernova here, back with another video, and this one's not going to be too long, just a little bit of gaming news. It appears that PS5 speed is actually going to be getting quite a bit faster. And this news comes per an article in WCCF Tech, which states that PS5's I/O system to be, quote, supercharged by Oodle texture, and the bandwidth is going to go up to 17.38 gigabytes per second, which is fucking insane. And it's going to do this using a piece of software called Oodle Texture. And Oodle, the company, says, Oodle Texture is a software library that game developers use at content creation time to compile their source art into GPU-ready BC1-7 formats. All games use GPU texture encoders, but previous encoders did not optimize the compiled textures for compression like Oodle Texture does. Not all games at launch of PS5 will be using Oodle Texture, as it's a very new technology. We expect it to be in a majority of PS5 games in the future. Because of this, we expect the average compression ratio and therefore the effective I/O speed to be even better than previously estimated. The article will go on to say that according to Oodle, the previous 8 to 9 gigabytes per second I/O bandwidth figure was provided by Sony by multiplying the 5.5 gigabytes per second peak bandwidth of the PS5 SSD for the standard compression ratio of 1.45 to 1 or 1.64 to 1. However, when factoring in both Oodle Kraken and Oodle Texture, the developers of the technology have seen an impressive compression ratio of 3.16 to 1 for a texture set in a recent game. This would translate into an I/O bandwidth peak of 17.38 gigabytes per second as mentioned in the headline. Of course, that may not be typical, and not all PS5 games will necessarily take advantage of this technology to the fullest. That said, it does sound like the PlayStation 5 is equipped to remain the leading game architecture for quite some time yet when it comes to I/O. So basically, when it comes to the PS5's I/O throughput, when you combine Oodle Kraken with Oodle Texture, it's going to be fucking insanely fast. 17.38 gigabytes is crazy fast. That's nearly double what the current speed is, and the current speed is already holy shit fast. Now, like the article said, this is very new technology, so we're probably not going to see it in any games for a while, and many games might not even use it to the fullest. It's also hard to know exactly what this I/O throughput speed is going to mean when it comes to games, or how it's going to translate into how it's going to make games better. So we really don't know what kind of difference, if any, this speed is going to make, especially because it really depends on how developers utilize it. But the fact still remains that that is a shit ton of speed that the developers now have to play with should they choose to utilize it. And really, there's not a whole lot more to say on that. I just thought this was pretty interesting news. A lot of people have been sharing it with me on Twitter because it is pretty interesting news. You know, basically doubling the I/O throughput speed of the PlayStation 5. It's going to be insane what both of these next generation consoles are going to be able to do next generation. I think that we may not be seeing a leap as big as we want in terms of graphics, but I think where we're going to see a bigger leap is in other things, in the worlds, the environments, how much shit they're able to pack into these levels, into what we see on screen. That's where we're going to be able to see the generational leap. Like, just imagine, with this I/O throughput speed, they could load pretty much anything they want into the level. It doesn't matter what it is. They have so much fucking speed to load all this information that now, as they're creating these worlds and levels, they can put way more into it without having to worry about pop-in or slowing things down, because the throughput speed is just that quick. But we really have to see how they implement this stuff, and hopefully we don't have to wait too long to really see this type of speed in action. And with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. And that's the video, guys. Like I said in the beginning, just a real quick one to get this information out to you guys and kind of talk about this update to the I/O speed. But yeah, that's the video, and let me know what you think down in the comments. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next Supernova.